If anyone's watching this to get a technical breakdown of the difference between a KLR and a KLX, I'm not going to do that. I don't much care about horsepower or torque or carbureted versus fuel-injected engines. I'm strictly going to talk about what it's like to ride these two bikes. What does each one feel like on and off the road? I think first and foremost, I'm a Kawasaki fan, which is weird because I grew up riding Honda dirt bikes and I had an XR100 when I was a kid. In my 20s, I had a BMW R80. I loved Hondas and BMWs. That BMW was bulletproof and never gave me any mechanical problems whatsoever. I still wish I had it, and the Honda was my first bike. I should probably start out by saying I borrowed an almost brand new KLX 250 for a few weeks to make this comparison, and I own a 2013 KLR 650. What's good about a KLR 650, you may be asking? I think the answer to that is that it may be a true 50-50 dirt and road bike. The conventional wisdom is that a KLR is as good on the road as it is off the road, which is to say it doesn't do either one of them perfectly, but will do each of them equally well. Despite what you've heard, a KLR will boom down the interstate at 85 miles an hour with no problems. In my experience, the KLR is a truly capable highway motorcycle, one that I've ridden thousands of highway miles on with no problems. I've heard that some people have trouble with the KLR at high speeds with front wheel wobble. That is not my experience. My KLR stays planted at 70, 80, or even 100 miles an hour. I feel very confident in it on the highway. I said that the conventional wisdom is that a KLR is equally capable on and off road. It will do both, but neither one very well. I don't think that's true. The KLR 650 is a capable street bike, able to handle any road condition you throw at it. Is it a BMW R1200? Well, no, but then again, what is? In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the Gen 2 KLR is a great highway bike. If you throw on a taller windshield, it's even more capable, but it doesn't need it. So what's wrong with the KLR? It sucks off-road. There, I said it. It's just too heavy to go off-roading with confidence. Will it handle dirt roads all day long? Sure. But so will a lot of motorcycles. Can you ride a single track on one? I wouldn't. It's too big, too cumbersome, and too clumsy to handle really gnarly trails. Which brings me to the main problem with the KLR. Its weight and high center of gravity. How much does a KLR weigh? I think somewhere around 7,000 pounds. Throw in a full 6.1 gallons of gas and it probably weighs closer to 8,000 pounds. I'm kidding, of course, but if you're alone on a fire road and you drop a KLR, it may as well weigh 8,000 pounds. If you're tired out from a long day's ride and drop it, good luck picking it up. I can't. But we've all seen that video of Rosie Gabrielle picking up a KLR by herself, right? Honest to God, I don't know how she did it. She must take some amazing vitamins.
We just picked up the bike!
Rosie, are you on steroids? Unlike Rosie, once my KLR is down, I need help picking it up. I've only successfully picked up my KLR once, and I have no idea how I did it. It was pointed downhill, I know, so gravity did a lot of the work. There might have been some adrenaline involved too because I had just crashed. I've dropped my KLR probably 10 times, and when I say dropped, I mean dropped it. It fell over. Why? Because the KLR is too top heavy. There's way too much weight up high, making it almost inevitable that you will fall over at slow speeds or standing still. With a full gas tank sitting up on the top of the bike, the center of gravity is well above the halfway point. In other words, they tip over really easily. Now I'm 5'11" tall, and I weigh about 200 pounds. I'm not a big guy, but I'm not small either. I do have very short Barney Rubble legs. I have a really long torso. Yes, I look weird with my shirt off, so don't ask. My inseam is a measly 31 inches, so my feet don't plant on the ground on the KLR. And that's a big problem when you're going really slow around a switchback on a mountain road. When you put your foot down, it doesn't go down. You do. Then you're stuck miles and miles away from help with an elephant of a motorcycle. My advice, if you're not well over 6 feet tall, on steroids, or strong as hell, I would avoid the KLR, especially if you ride alone like me. If you have someone to help you all the time, go for it. And if you're not on steroids like Rosie Gabrielle, right, Rosie? You can tell me. You're on the roids, right?
What? That was easy. Hey, bud.
Then you can't pick it up by yourself. Do I love my KLR? Yes, I do. Kind of like an abusive relationship, though. I've ridden all over Texas, New Mexico, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Colorado with my KLR. We kicked ass on the roads and highways and even had fun on forest roads. But the minute it gets gnarly, the KLR shows its weakness. It just sucks off-road. Blasphemy, I know. The truth is hard to accept. I wanted the KLR to be the perfect bike, one that's equally well suited for the highway as it is for off-road. But the sad fact is it really doesn't do off-road nearly as well as on-road. What motorcycle would I take if I had to go around the world? It would still be the KLR. Its versatility, huge gas tank, reliability, its ability to travel at highway speeds and tackle dirt roads make it a world killer. There's no more versatile motorcycle out there at any price. But I'm not going around the world anytime soon, right? I mean, maybe one day, but not today. Lately, I've been trailering the KLR to dirt roads in Colorado and New Mexico. I haven't been doing what the KLR is made for, tearing up highway miles and then ripping it up on dirt roads once I get there. So my style of riding has changed. I don't want to ride for 10 hours on the interstate anymore. I want to ride in air-conditioned comfort to my destination, then ride my motorcycle on the gnarliest dirt roads I can find. Maybe even do some single track, all by myself too. Which brings me to the KLX, a small displacement thumper that's light enough to pick up by myself. At 304 pounds wet, I think I could pick it up by myself. Compare that to the KLR at 432 pounds wet, and you start to see the advantage of a smaller bike. But what about going on the highway? Will the KLX do it? Yes and no. A KLX 250 will go on the highway. Will it go 85 miles an hour? Yeah, downhill, with a tailwind, carrying a jockey. Do you want to go on the interstate with the KLX? Not for very long, I'd say, if at all. Will it go on the farm to market highway for 10 miles to get you to the next dirt road? Sure. We'll cruise along at 70 miles an hour. Long enough for that, no problem. Is the KLX a world killer? No, it is definitely not. What it is a breath of fresh mountain air off-road. It's light and flicky, easily maneuvered around the tightest switchback. It's capable and nimble enough to tackle single tracks, super gnarly rutted dirt roads, steep hill climbs and descents. In short, it's what I wanted the KLR to be able to do, but the KLR couldn't do it. Or maybe I couldn't, I don't know which. Now some people may say, dude, you just bought the wrong motorcycle. There's nothing wrong with the KLR, it's you that's the problem. And maybe they'd be right. I wanted a motorcycle that was equally good off-road as it was on-road. And in my experience, the KLR isn't that bike. It's great on the highway, on the twisties, and as a commuter bike around town. It'll handle dirt roads, even rough, difficult dirt road, but it won't tear it up and it won't own the dirt road like I wanted it to. The KLR is not a dirt bike. It's much more capable on the road than off. So the question is, should I sell the KLR and buy a KLX? I really would miss the ability to eat up the highway miles and go anywhere I want, whenever I want. I'd miss being part of the KLR family. It is a family, a dysfunctional, idiosyncratic family. Well, it's more like a cult than a family. KLR 650 riders are different. We're not like other folks. We're special. I belong with them. I'll miss that. The KLX doesn't seem to have the cult following that the KLR has. But what it does have is a mechanical build and ability to match the way I like to ride. I don't care about going fast. The KLX is most definitely not fast. It doesn't have much torque, if I'm using that term correctly. 0 to 60? Yes, it will do that, but not real fast. It puts along at a nice speed and will get up and go in the higher revs enough to get up a hill. It's nimble, flicky, and light. I can hop a curb without worrying about 400 pounds landing on me. It has a tiny gas tank, but I'm not going very far, am I? And I can buy some Rotopacks, right? I could get a bigger gas tank. Will it tackle the backcountry discovery route? I think it would. I also think I would have more confidence in it than the KLR to do the job safely without hassle. So here I am trying to figure out what bike to get again. Do I keep the KLR and try harder to make it work the way I want it to? Or do I go for the smaller bike that does what I want it to do off-road? One that I can pick up if I drop it. One that won't go on the interstate but will handle the smaller highways. Help me out here, folks. What's a die-hard KLR fan supposed to do? Let me know in the comments what you think, and don't forget to hit subscribe and the like button, even if you think my thoughts on the KLR are total baloney.